I wanted to share an example of something that's going to happen a lot if you use Heavy Resume. And that is that you're going to apply for a job. It's going to be involving something that is relatively unlike the other jobs that you've applied for. And the AI agent's going to think that you are not a good fit. I created a job fit report for a job that involves generative AI. Heavy Resume uses a bunch of generative AI systems, and it definitely uses it in a production environment. So we can see under the reasoning, it says I'm a bad fit. It says that I lack multiple core generative AI, agentic AI requirements, such as RAG and context pipelines, vector retrieval, and large-scale AI production experience. The job title, I believe, is Senior Principal Software Engineer. So it makes a lot of sense that, yeah, you probably need to come in here with a lot of the requirements in order to be considered. It's a high salary position. And then you can look at the required skills, the desired skills, and the optional skills that were extracted from the job description. It says 2+ years of experience in generative AI and agentic AI systems, including LLMs. One question is, what does agentic AI even mean? So we can see here that agentic AI means an artificial intelligence system that can autonomously and proactively pursue goals, make decisions, and take actions without constant human oversight. If you were to ask me, does Heavy Resume have agentic AI? I would say the answer is no. Now, I do have experience using agentic AI as a hackathon project. So the question is, would I be a fit for this job? And I would say, based off of the phrasing of the job description, they would not consider me. I have not gone out and built systems like this. There's very few people in the world who would have been doing this sort of thing. And this job description is essentially saying, hey, if you happen to be one of those people, please apply to this job. Now, one thing is that to consider is that this job description put that in there as a mistake. And what they really meant is that maybe I am a great fit here. And instead of generative AI and agentic AI systems, it would be 2+ years of experience in generative AI and at least some experience in agentic AI systems. That would then radically change what they're looking for, because now they've opened the scope and it's become something that I go from being yeah, this isn't quite what you're looking for in your narrow description, to when you broadened it, now this person's actually a really great fit for what you're looking for. Now, one thing we can also do is say, okay, maybe I'm missing the depth of that agentic AI experience, but also maybe that's not the whole reason I'm a bad fit here. There's more to the qualifications and shortcomings than just simply that. Maybe my rating will change to fair if I'm able to clear up these other things. So, for example, concrete experience with context engineering beyond basic prompt tuning, using RAG pipelines and structured context assembly. Again, it goes back to what does that mean? And what is a RAG pipeline in this case? Because I would say, yes, Heavy Resume has something that definitely resembles what that phrase means. And structured context, again, probably the first time I've heard that phrase, but I would say that yes, it's doing that too. The job lead search is vector search. When you ask questions and gives you an answer, that's vector search. So this is also definitely true. So let's address some of this non-understanding that the AI has about me. So we can do that by going to the home page, and then we can go into edit. We can go to our notes, and we can add experience as necessary to help it understand where we're at with things. You want to be as realistic and as close to reality as possible. So let's add a note for generative AI experience. So here we can create a note, and it basically is a topic, and every topic has one or more notes. We've accomplished a mission because that's one way of getting credits is to use the system and learn it. So here we have a second note where I talk about how I've used image generation. Now, in these cases, I'm not calling generative AI or agentic AI as a formal experience, but it is and so it's not going to show up on the resume. But it is something that if you were to ask the AI agent, it would be able to answer about. And it's also something that's used when doing the job fit report. So here we've added some notes about context engineering. All right, so now let's address this one. So for this one, I'm actually going to add pgvector as a tool. And I think that should be enough to satisfy the AI agent. So what we're going to do is go to Skills, Edit Tools and Technologies. We're going to add a new one, pgvector. This is something that AI came up with. Let's show them that we know more than the AI does. Years of experience. I've worked with it for probably 1.5 years now. All right, so now we can create some notes for this. So we can say this is our notes for using pgvector. So if we go back to our job lead, we can go and try again. I should probably add a retry button. It's missing. I'm going to pause it until this is done. So now we can see that after adding notes, my rating changed from bad to fair. Now that I have the job fit report as fair, the question is, does it make sense to actually submit it? That's not a very compelling rating after all. It's just kind of saying, yeah, I just kind of meet it. And the answer is it's going to depend. If it's something that is not likely to see a lot of qualified candidates, then being fair might be good enough to get you an interview and convince them that you can handle it. If I wanted to share this, the way this would work is that I'd click on Share Job Fit Report. I'd set the terms of the data sharing. I could add any personal notes. And I can come down to this section where it says Generate PDF Abridged Resume. Here I can choose whether or not I want to trim things based off of the job description. Include a alias for my name instead of my actual name on it. And I can also choose whether to include contact information. Now you're wondering, why would you want to have an alias? It's not your real name. Doesn't that kind of raise suspicion? And the answer is that a lot of times when you apply to a job, the resume is separate from the application. You could also be talking with a recruiter. And if you give them a PDF resume that has an alternative name on it, then it allows them to share it with a hiring manager and not have the hiring manager be influenced by what your name is. This means that they're less likely to extract things like nationality, gender, and age, simply because you're of your name. And we can see the final product here. So this is what it looks like when you use an alias. You can see that I have a lot of skills and a lot of tools and technology that's relevant to this job. And recall that it is a very high-level job. If it came down to much a lower one, a lot more isolated and asking for a lot less stuff, these would be shorter lists. You can see that you have my professional experience, you have my education, and you have projects and awards. These are all trimmed. I have a lot more projects than this. Here's the link to the interactive resume and the AI job fit evaluation. As you can see, there's a lot of things that it iterated out because, again, it is a job that asked for a lot. If you look at what was extracted, you can see that there's a lot of required skills, desired skills, and optional skills that need to be addressed. And then finally, the last page has the appendix.